And I know one thing you said that was interesting there real quick is Darlington. You went on without any practice. I just remember before I talked to your old teammate Jesse Little a while ago, and he was telling me about how the opening race when Xfinity Series came back, that was his first time in Darlington. And he told me that was the only time he's been driving and he had no clue what he was doing. Can you feel some of that when you were driving at Darlington?
I'm not at Darlington, but I had that at the Roval. I had that for the first time at the Roval because it was raining, but also like some people were like complaining. They were like, "Oh man, my windshield wiper didn't work. I couldn't see." I'm like, I would have rather had my windshield wiper break than have what I had. My defogger didn't work, so I couldn't see past the windshield. It was just white. So at one point, I told my spotter, who was Mike Herman, who was Chris Buescher's spotter in the Cup Series. I told him, I said, I'm following the taillights of the car in front of me. I said, if he goes off, I'm following him. Like, plain and simple. It was the first time where I really was just kind of at the mercy of everything else. Tommy Joe knows it got chaotic there. I spun in the same corner at the exact same time when you guys were in that deal. So it's just
God, yeah, that was like
gnarly.
5 cars in there.
Yeah, look, I've decided that probably in like 10 years they're going to do like one of those NASCAR specials on that specific race. Mm-hmm. We're all going to be brought in like documentary style to explain just how big of a shit show that was.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I was there. My favorite thing is like they showed the I rewatched the broadcast because I always do that every time I race. I rewatch the broadcast just to see if there's anything I could do better. I couldn't learn anything off this race, but like one lap, it was me inside a Weatherman, and he just went straight off the track and binned it. The next lap is the one where I come in and spin it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was like
I saw it. I watched it happen. That's the dumber part about it is I was literally like, whoa, boy, that was pretty big. Okay, caution must be coming out. And they're like, no, it's still green. I went, okay. And then I come back around, and then I wreck in the same corner, and he's still there. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. How did they not throw caution for this?
The funny thing about that corner, and now I'm just telling the story, but like, so Austin Hill was buried like fireball deep into that barrier. So I'm coming down that little short chute, and I was in second gear. I was probably at like 4,500 RPM. So like putting around, just like, all right, I see him wrecked in there. I'm going to like just be slow through here. So I'm going slow. And I guess I hit a puddle or something the wrong way. I mean, like you experienced it, it just was bad. I go in there as slow as I can go. And all of a sudden I just get to like, like there's that angle of no return. Yeah. And I was like, oh no. And if you go back and listen to the broadcast, you hear me wide open on the throttle.
Yeah.
Because
just trying to get it to rotate.
I just slammed the gas, banging the chip, so I just hit flat instead of ripping the whole rear clip off it.
Which actually worked out way better for you. You were able to kind of get going. Whereas me, I went in there even so because I watched this in front of me and went, all right, I got to really spin. I was like, I got to really back it down. And then I still wrecked. I just wrecked a lot slower. and still was like, okay, well, I can stop. And I was like, oh, nope, still wound up hitting him. Okay. And then somebody just came piling into the back of me. So I was like the third one off the record. And we had already lost 4 laps. So then it just is like kind of ruined the whole race. You had the right idea. If you're going to miss it, just go wide open. Screw it. And just try to clear it.
It sounds funny, but I planned the way I hit. I tried to control how I crashed. Yeah. Which is a weird sentence.
God, yeah, that was and if for those listening and who haven't seen this, because you can't visually see it right now, just go to the race, go look at highlights. This all happened in probably a span of about 3 minutes. They were just wrecking nonstop for about 3 minutes, and there was that was
really, Tommy Joe's happened within 15 seconds.
Within 15 seconds,
we literally had 6 cars piled up in one corner. It looked like something out of a big
that was about
episode.
In a span of 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's that the thing that I think needs to be clear to the audience here is really by the last 45 minutes after like kind of towards the end of the race, like we had a rain delay, we had a downpour, and then they were like, all right, well, this is enough, which is hilarious because then it's like they just went, yeah, well, whatever, screw it, let's just finish it off.
Yeah,
like it was still pouring rain. They just went, whatever, we'll figure it out. There were no lights on the infield at all.
Was the screen blinding you too?
100%. They had the big screen going. The spotter communication. Yeah, the spotter communication was basically zero because the spotters, all their radio equipment had been soaked because there wasn't really anywhere for them to go. So by the end of it,
said, as long as you keep it on track for the rest of this race, you're getting the top 20. And that's what happened. I finished and 17th.
That's it. And the dumber part of this, Vargas, is like we had the exact same thing. I was like, well, I'm wrecked. As many cautions are about to be in this thing, I think I'm going to wind up back on the lead lap by the end of this thing. We ran the entire race. No water in the radiator. None. Zero. Knocked a hole in it. Knocked all the water completely out of it. Whole motor. No water. Ran the whole race. We got back, brought it to the engine guy, and he went, I don't even know how this worked. And I was like, well, we finished 25th or wherever we finished. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just.
That's insane. I didn't.
Rear clip.
I haven't heard that one.
Front, rear clip. No lights, no brakes, no nothing. Just complete train wreck.
I actually, speaking of the Roval, that's my rear bumper. That's part of my
perfect.
Rear bumper. It's in here. So
I swear this is going to be like a war film that they make in about 10 years. The people that participated in that.
Like a special. I hope they do a special on it. Because I have my stories from that race. Just there's so many. Like there's me spinning, there's me avoiding everybody wrecking, there's me pulling the doot and scoot on old Timmy Hill. There's all this stuff that was going on. I mean, it was nuts.
God, yeah, that
so Vargas, we'll get you out of here with this. Look, first full-time season. At the end of the year, what would be the